much, Deputy Speaker.
Honourable members, we do not have quorum. I therefore suspend Parliament to the further reading of the bill.
Honorable members, you may get quorum. Minister Masiu, by you see, call a prayer this morning.
Ikpla God, loving Father, you Alpha and Omega, now you display God, where display country, and Mr. Paninit long, look out below you. Papa, me pla come to you again, long, talk thank you, Lord, display day. Thank you, long life, where you preserve him, long me pla 1-1. Thank you, long leadership positions, you give him, long me pla. Long look out him, all people, long me pla, long all districts, all provinces, long me pla. Papa, thank you, long display mandate. Mandate where, something, nothing. A mandate where all people give him. Now this anointing blow you, long antap, long me pla, all get leaders. Long me pla save him. You na country blow me pla. Now saving me pla yet, na line blow me pla. Papa giving me pla this pla challenge as me pla some leadership. You go along narapla level inside the work blow me pla. Because me pla am online you marking me pla lo come sit down on this pla honorable house. Papa I got plenty more like come inside as a London up. Because you yet you marking me pla, you appointing me pla long stop long this pla position where me pla hold him now. Papa thank you. Helping me pla long make him walk lo me pla. Look lo you na make him walk lo me pla. You know look lo man or one him. But me pla put him you go pass so that this la love na care belong all people blow me pla. Emi must come lo you. Na helping me pla long bring him this pla love na care long all people blow me pla. You go down long all people blow me pla. Bless him Prime Minister blow me pla. Deputy Prime Minister, all the ministers, all members of Parliament, opposition leader, deputy opposition leader. Now all the members of opposition, now government want them, Papa. Thank you, long mipla got talk blow you and stop inside long Parliament. Now this blood talk, Papa, mipla, he must respect him. Time mipla stand up, now mipla sit down. Mipla must look serious and you are in our midst. And you are therefore the only God that people by look long him na save him. Long this pla term long mipla long Parliament. Bless him speak up long mipla. Now bless him all get our families long mipla. Papa look out him all. Because all the soul stop na mipla stop. Na mipla can come na stop lo this pla house. Bless him all workman long Parliament. All work Mary. Now all get the departments long mipla long government. Long this pla country long mipla. Bless him mipla all get so that mipla perform him duties long mipla. With humility, with obedience, with diligence. Now love blow you, Papa. Thank you. Thank you, Lord, this pla day. Because this pla day you give me pla long, saving you. You know, saving me pla yet. Thank you, Papa. Me pla by same. Now call him Lord's Prayer now. Our Father.
Honorable members, you may like kisim sa look long. Inside the public gallery blue imitete you may get all. Grade 8 Sumatin now teacher belong along. Saint Maximilian Ipai Pana Primary School of Central Province. Now grade 7 Sumatin now teachers belong all from Ohola Demonstration Primary School on National Capital District. On behalf of the National Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to you all. They got petitions, notices, ask him inoga tok sabe pobla 5 minute. Honorable Governor Blue Civic.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Long look sabe long me long ask him this question in Nogat Tok Sabe. I direct this question to the Prime Minister, Mr. Speaker, because it involves the responsibilities of two different ministers. Speaker, early this year, we held an inquiry into the country's election preparedness for 2027. Several important issues arose that require urgent government intervention. As you know, we are now 11 months out from the issue of writs. The first question, which I would like the Prime Minister to respond to, is the delays in the appointment of a permanent electoral commissioner. Could the Prime Minister inform this House and the people of Papua New Guinea as to the reasons why we have yet to see the permanent appointment of an electoral commissioner? My second question is around the issue of the implementation of the Special Parliamentary Committee's 70 recommendations. Is the government prepared to bring legislation to support some of the recommendations within the remaining 11 months of this Parliament, Mr. Speaker? My third question is, I believe, far more important, and that surrounds the funding of the 2027 general elections. Mr. Speaker, in our inquiry in 2023, we uncovered that the last election cost the country around 1 billion kina. We urged all of the agencies responsible to submit budgets for this year so that a significant part of the funding for preparedness of the 2027 elections would be funded this year. From the agencies, we gather that they submitted almost 600 million to Treasury for consideration. Mr. Speaker, they were only allocated 25%, or 1/4 of the amount they requested. In our recent inquiry early this year, in questioning the Secretary for Treasury, he indicated that they would be sitting down later this year, and I assume that should be happening now, to consider more funding for the general elections to those responsible agencies, and that they would seek NEC approval for this funding, which I assume would be somewhere in the tune of 400 million. Given the recent response by the minister responsible for, I believe, rural development, the Honorable Joseph Lelang, who informed this House a couple of days ago that 1 billion kina has been cannibalized from the budget for fuel subsidies, I would like to ask the Prime Minister to inform the House about where the government plans to find the additional 400 million to fund the agencies for their preparedness for the 2027 elections. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Prime Minister.
All right, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Me hamas lo looking you again. Me also hamas long question long Governor long Isipik. Important question in relation to the elections that is coming up next year, where our people will get to exercise their constitutional Section 50 rights to vote for leaders of their choice. Mr. Speaker, first question along Permanent Electoral Commission process may run. I have issued my instructions to Chief Secretary, who reports to me, that try to expedite the process, get it completed at the very earliest. The current acting electoral commissioner, we have extended term to be in acting capacity so that I can hold him work it long acting capacity until the appointment long permanent electoral commissioner is complete. From what I was advised, the process is almost nearing completion. Once it is complete, the Electoral Commission Appointment Committee will sit. And in the midst of many of people who try to misconstrue what is facts from what is not fact, I want to inform this House and the country that Electoral Commissioner is not appointed by Prime Minister. Prime Minister is part of a committee that sits. The committee's members constitute the opposition leader, the Chief Justice, the Public Service Commission Chairman, and the Ombudsman Commission, Chief Ombudsman Commissioner, I beg your pardon. 5+ are sitting down one term. Look, all shortlist. This 5+ constitutional officers pick him, set back electoral commissioner, below Yumi, long country. So the process has been run. Advertisement he got finished. All line he got interest or this position or apply finish. So when only put him shortlist of 3, but come back lo mipla, but NEC secretary but facilitate him sinan below this committee. As mipla sinan, but mipla pick him the best applicant who said he apply come inside. So I want this process to be retired ASAP or RF to mass, because I'm in the interest of all of us to have certainty and leadership over that important constitutional office, and can start making work or preparation for elections. Number 2 question, whether maybe processing some recommendations where committee working, me like looks out on committee leadership, Honorable Governor Baird, one time parliamentary committee members, only making good law work. Those recommendations that we need to plant into Parliament from the committee's finding will be certainly brought in. We got 2 or 3 more Parliament sittings this year, and we have possibly 2 sittings next year. And I have called for a meeting of all political party leaders. So using this question, we also confirm get possibly next week, Thursday or Friday. Sadly, you mean bipartisan from the opposite as well as from the government. Committee chairman, Governor Baird, you want a committee member of the UPLA too can sit down in the meeting. You may kiss him brief from Electoral Commission as to where they are in terms of preparation for election 2027. So all of us are in the loop or informed at the same place at the same time, and we all have equal preparations. But certainly, the recommendations that the committee has put forward, the body that should carry this in is the Minister Masare's team responsible for the administrative oversight of these constitutional offices. So those are being processed through cabinet process right now as I speak. In terms of funding, Mr. Speaker, last election, from indication, we are spending over $1 billion kina. Election is a very expensive exercise too. But as we live through a tough financial year once again, we have faced domestically issue of cyclone. It hit him eastern parts of our country, including especially the island communities. You got the issue of fuel price rise externally. Papua New Guinea right now, through our government subsidy, we are second lowest in the Pacific Southeast Asian region in terms of fuel price, where people pay me at the fuel bouses. Australia, you look in fuel blow, and double the price of fuel blow PNG. New Zealand, double the price of fuel blow PNG. Misora, Lol, Trango, Liklik, one line living of South Pacific Island countries, they're paying half the price we are paying today. But we, on this side of the House, the Pango Coalition, do not feel it offensive. And borrowing Governor Baird's own word, cannibalize the budget. We don't feel it offensive to cannibalize the budget for the sake of helping our people. To help our people, we might as well cannibalize the budget. Budget low side, budget low people. Kiss him helping all people, time all pays him hard time. You must help him pocket long all. Keep him light. So just like people are paying money long, helping people, election important. This year you may put in, I think, 50 million kina in budget. Whilst they asked for 600 million kina, people are putting 50 million kina in budget. I've had word out to Electoral Commission. I need clear visibility on where you are spending this money. High car to mass. Can expense to mass. Like clear visibility where you are spending money. Money no pun on long. Lip the wine about you. To me like in Bislal want them headline talk that's all. The country deserves for you to tell the country based on your experience in the past. This line makes all cost items and go detail, not headline details, but go into details of details. Because we must give money appropriately. They too must be prudent in their spending correctly, so that we deliver safe, fair, free election for our people next year. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm like giving belly seal on country. This government will not be side to resource Electoral Commission properly, but Electoral Commission, not just the Commissioner or Acting Commissioner, but the entire institution, the central office, the provincial office, where you may all gotta come through, when the election come around. Suddenly, so many high car bills and so many things creep in. So we want to get through all itemized costs properly, including security costs, so that you use some good government money on correct places, and instead of using opportunities like this, national events like this, for a cash spending activity belong all constitutional officers and electoral commission. So funding by like giving barely see. This year budget stuff, this year's possible supplementary but come up because long issue belong to fuel. And next year budget is stopped. So we will make sure that every itemized, correctly itemized spending where electoral commission, police need him, plus security support. So funding is not an issue for ill-run elections as we've seen in 2022, 2017, 2012, 2007, 2002, failed election come up, assemble up. So even like let's display repeat 2027, I think as part of our 50th anniversary going forward, we must all have a fair go, election opportunity fair for all parties, all people have a fair opportunity to cast vote. We're looking at the security apparatus too. Plenty of people Highlands, especially one-day polling creates tension. The one-day polling creates tension. We're in a mad rush to complete voting in one day. Sometimes people circumvent the process. So, Mr. Speaker, Mila Togosem, look good. So instead of one day, each province must be given a fair opportunity. 2-3 days, staff good, security staff good. Now, instead of block vote or clan vote, or say me looking for day electoral, like me, I must congratulate member of the day where Maskio Rosim took the box blocked because he was popular right throughout. He was able to come through. But that's a circumstance forced on our people. When you have only one day to vote, helicopter brings into remote areas at 11 o'clock, helicopter have to uplift by 2 o'clock. What do you expect 1,000 people to do? So they have to say, all right, you may agree to clan vote, and a clan must vote or something. It's about time we break this, so we will make sure security is properly staged and protect that sanctified right of people to vote. That's Section 50. Every person must be given a right to vote in 2027. No one by clan vote or block vote or kind of stuff. Mr. Speaker, Sabus Gosem, people like James Maravena, people like Honorable Peter O'Neill, Bidlaba come back, place clear through. First pass, straight passing the votes. Because we are equally popular in our own rights. Just that kind all talk come up nothing or say people come kind way now. My brother, remember Yalu Pange, it's okay, but me I get stigmatized all the time. So we want to make sure that stigma is removed by popular vote, 2-3 day vote good, policy protect them good. Now who said man, people like him come process for 1 day vote, one person, one vote.
We got point of order. What's your point of order, member of Law?
Speaker, question time is very limited. So Prime Minister really should focus on the answering the very clear, simple questions rather than going around from Milne Bay to Daru and back again. So please, time is limited. It's only got 1 minute left. And so please stick to the questions.
Honorable member of Law, point of order, is out of order. Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, thank you, Lord Rulim, out of order, but I think me one bell or point and waste him too, so we're giving time. Me just giving assurances, and we'll end up. Governor Bates committee will remain relevant. Mass game stop law opposition. Committee will remain relevant. Law assisting people look some government must prepare the election proper. So next year, me like him, people exercising right to vote good. You vote now. You vote in Pangu out. Me must listen law opposition. I don't want to be going to the election under shade of doubt. We must have a fair voting place for everyone to contest. So, Governor Bates committee will be functional to make sure that we are all doing the right thing going forward. All this recommendation below also, you put in finish next week. You may sit down Thursday or Friday. You may go through what is good for the country. You may process him in 50 years now. Timely meal or major in politics. And I give him one greatest gift, preparing our people to me along one person, one vote in 2027.
We got two supplementary, Honorable Member Blow, about one of supplementary blue.
Thank you, Speaker. If you look at today's notice paper and you look at notice 65, the Special Parliamentary Committee on 2022 elections, it was introduced to this Parliament on the 5th of October 2023, not yesterday. So my supplementary question is, 3 years have gone. After the 2022 elections, there was a lot of criticism against the last election. So the Prime Minister, in his own wisdom and supported by all of us, the committee was established. The committee has done its job, 70 recommendations, very, very clear. You don't have to go and look for the answers. They are all in the report. My question is, Mr. Speaker, to the Prime Minister, why hasn't your minister responsible made a submission to Cabinet to start using the executive powers to implement the very, very important recommendations? Why hasn't that been done up to now? 3 years ago, this committee worked very, very hard, presented a report in very good time, and the Prime Minister is now saying 2 weeks' time or next week, we are going to have a party leaders meeting. This is not acceptable, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we like talk good plus supplementary question and leader Blabao ask him. And good luck to us, so me like I put him in writing, the writing come back and back behind. Thank you.
You may got normal supplementary, Honorable Member Blonga. Not fly?
Thank you, Speaker. Good morning, Loyuna. Good morning, you. Supplementary from me to the Prime Minister, and I want the Minister for Administrative Service to take note, because the good minister who travels the whole world, all the way to India, down to Australia, to Canberra, to everywhere, to adopt a system of voting.
We have a point of order.
Just to correct, there are several agencies under my responsibility as the minister, and as a result of that, when I undertake those journeys or those trips, they are representing those different industries or agencies under my responsibility. So, just so that the not fly understands. Thank you.
Honorable Member will not fly. Go ahead with the supplementary.
I'm spending taxpayers' money to travel, or send me ask him. But to the point, Mr. Speaker, the question is that all the work that his minister has done, and what is the government's recommendation to the cabinet or to his government? What's the way forward for our voting system next year? Is it a biometric, or one kind by using NID system? Or this minister must talk somewhere through his prime minister or the cabinet to this house that this is the methodology we are using for next year's election. So, Prime Minister, you mean talk here? How long am I Rick Thomas? That's what he always says. or I don't know. How blow you miss sampla? You mean as a rigging election? You miss a isita, so you miss a sanaplo line, you blow numbers or coastal, you miss a vote easy. But sampla have areas by looking all man by rig to mass. And now you may talk a block vote or tribe vote or clan vote or pass him to all go put throw inside the box. So we need to be assured in this house and to the country. Also, one method by me using next year, so this land, good la passing vote must come up. And I ask the Prime Minister, please inform the House of his cabinet, of his government's way forward for next year election. One method by me using. Thank you.
Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, another good question. I would ask the member concerned to put in writing. I may be consuming everybody else's time. And certainly next week when we meet the party leaders, the committee will be there. We'll give an update to everyone. I think the party leaders forum is important. And all of us being attendance, we will get the Electoral Commission to update all of us so that we all in the loop. The good member also alluded to elections being rigged in the Highlands. I want to dispute that. It is not rigged. People decide what to do up there. And people do vote. If you're concerned about the Highlands, or more so the labeled Upper Highlands, there's only 22 seats up there in the 4 provinces. If you take Hela, Southern Highlands, and Enga, that's about 16 seats or 17 seats. That's not super majority of this country. The rest of the country sit over 100 seats or 100 seats in as far as next election will be concerned belongs to rest of the country that is labeled does vote proper. So that means super majority go through the proper process. If it means the other 3 up there does fail, they belong to minority. A quorum of a parliament could be formed without the 3 provinces up there. For those of you lead political parties, if you don't feel you can contest up there, you got rest of the country to contest to win big majority to form governments. Let's not remain as crybabies. Get yourself organized. Win the majorities elsewhere. And you can have opportunity to form government also. But the election will be prepared well for all of us. And I want to give that assurance. And next year when we go to elections, hopefully you have seen the preparation because the voting environment is same and prevalent right across our country. We want to give the fair voting circumstances right across all parts of our country. We've inherited this problem, just like every other problem we're trying to fix. Join us, let's all fix this together so that next year we give every party, every candidate a fair go to contest so that the best performing candidate can win in his or her electorate to represent his or her people. Thank you.
We don't have entertaining more supplementary, yeah. Honorable member along middle fly.
Thank you, Speaker. Look save middle fly. Question below me want to know talk save and me go the good minister for police. I'll go straight to my question. So question number 1. Can the police minister tell this honorable house and the people of Papua New Guinea the status of the rape allegation against the commissioner of police? Mipla saw status blow this allegation. Question number 2. Has the commissioner been cleared of this serious crime? Question number 3. Point of order again.
You may get a point of order. What's your point of order, Minister?
This is a serious question. The commissioner is not here to respectively. Let me repeat again. The commissioner is, with respect, the commissioner as a person is not here to answer these allegations. There are areas to take it to process, and it will be improper to raise such a question like this. Please rule this question out of order.
Honorable Minister, point of order, please, out of order. And member will not fly, middle fly will ask him Minister of Police, so by me, harem question belongan. Middle fly, you ask him, Blue.
Thank you, thank you, Speaker. And I'll complete my question. The Minister is here and is going to be responsible to answer this question. And it's very important for this country. So my question number, I think I stopped at question number 3. When is the Police Minister going to take action to clear the good name of the police force? And the last question, we have the national election in 2027 next year. Is the police commissioner who has failed to enforce law and order going to run the election? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minister of Police.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The questions, Mr. Speaker, are serious because they concern the integrity of the office of the Commissioner. The Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary belongs to the people of Papua New Guinea. And Mr. Speaker, since the matter is now raised on the floor of Parliament, let me also inform Parliament that the matter was also raised by the media in one of my press conferences. And as a result, Mr. Speaker, I have to inform the Parliament and the people of Papua New Guinea that as the responsible Minister for Police, I have researched the issues. I also have, Mr. Speaker, sought legal advices and guidance as to the issues. Mr. Speaker, I will have the matter or the facts presented to the Prime Minister. Now that the matter is raised in the People's House, I will also have the matter discussed with the Deputy Prime Minister and other colleague ministers of Cabinet. The government, Mr. Speaker, is committed to due processes and transparencies. And Mr. Speaker, I will then report to Parliament with full answers to the questions, maybe in a sitting in this session of Parliament, so that, Mr. Speaker, this matter is dealt with once and for all. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion to the answers to those questions, I must also state that no one is above the law. The constabulary is the face of the law in this country. It is the enforcing agency of the laws of this country. And Mr. Speaker, we ought to ensure that policing standards are above reproach. And Mr. Speaker, I commit to the Honorable House and the people of this country that I think we need to have this matter sorted once and for all, so as to ensuring that there is no more discussions about this also in the social medias. And I believe, as Minister of Police, this is the right call for me to do. And in a sitting of Parliament in this session, I will come with the answers. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member of Kabum.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Loluk Sawelong, Chair Blong, people of Kabum. Mr. Speaker, question blomi. I'm simple na I'm bagolong Minister of Education. But since Minister of Education and me, the responsibility are taken care of by Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology. Question is in regard to it's 1 year since transition of education system, OBE, outcome-based education system, transition into standard-based curriculum system in the country. Inside of bus blow, you mean salo Papua New Guinea now? Kind of electorate blow me. All teachers no got teaching guide, no got materials for teaching or sumatin. Now sumatin too no got books or textbooks kind of them. Lo line him, lo it's la nubla system now. Mr. Minister, suppose or workman blow you. Suppose only pine him hard lo delivery more Islam materials ikolong. All districts blah me blah, some blah me blah. We sacrifice our DSFE funds, whatever along, transporting me along. Bus have blow you me ogeta, or sumatin nogat, or textbooks na kind of assembly line him, sabe long him. So Mr. Speaker, me ask him, suppose Mr. Minister, mawelo desla, Mr. Speaker, inabe me talk sabelo people belong. Papua New Guinea Usat schools, all nogat, all Islam materials at the moment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Speaker, and thank you, Member Block Kwabum. Good question. In terms of OBE, the transition happened in Kabum, in 2015 to Standards Curriculum or SBC. All the teachers were trained to use that SBC. So all the teachers trained already. In terms of curriculum, we have three basic components. So they are the syllabus, teacher's guide, and the students' textbooks. In terms of the syllabus and textbooks, or TG, for all the subjects, in terms of textbooks, we have delivered at least one textbooks and teachers as well. All of the maths and science for grades 3 to 6. For other subjects, again, it'll cost around 600 million. It's a lot of money, so we are doing it slowly, by phase. I thank the Marape government for the support of 11.8 billion starting next year, but we'll put in big money, we'll make sure people are front-loading textbooks. So again, it's a big mammoth of a task. It's taking time to do it. Soros and District Bloino come yet, and a few other districts, but we'll make sure that happens in the next few years. Thank you.
Honourable Member Blong, Kiruna, good enough?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with the recent cyclone Myla hitting parts of Milimbe province and the New Guinea Islands, I believe it has become an eye-opener and has opened the minds of authorities, the difficulties our people face in remote islands of PNG. And before I continue, I would like to take this opportunity, Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the people of Milimbe, the people of Kiruna Good Enough, to thank the government, the donor agencies and our international partners, the friends we have within our country and our citizens for the immediate and urgent attendance to the needs of our people after the devastation. Mr. Speaker, my three questions are directed to the Prime Minister, and I'd like the Minister for Works and Highways to take note. And for the Prime Minister to inform the House and our coastal people at large, because I believe Connect PNG also includes maritime provinces and
districts as well. And the reason why I directed my question to the Prime Minister and not to the Minister for Works and Highways is because during the devastation, during the cyclone disaster, the Prime Minister thankfully spent almost 7 days in Milimbe province visiting the islands of Samarai Morua, the Alatau area, and also visiting my electorate as well. So, Mr. Speaker, given, number one, given that Milimbe has well over 400 plus islands, of which 160 plus islands are inhabited and are heavily dependent on sea transport, Mr. Speaker, what portion of the Connect PNG budget has been allocated to maritime infrastructure such as jetties, wharves, and coastal shipping support compared to our road programs? Number two, Mr. Speaker, what measures has the Department of Works put in place to ensure maritime provinces and districts are included in the Connect PNG projects and programs? Mr. Speaker, coastal and island communities in Milimbe remain isolated without reliable transport and infrastructure. I sincerely ask the Prime Minister and Minister for Works and Highways to provide clarity so my people would know when and how they can benefit from the Connect PNG program, which is a wonderful and good program for mainland PNG. What about connecting the remote islands of our country to the rest of mainland PNG? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I want to appreciate the good question by the leader of People's Progress Party and the member for Kiriwina Good Enough. It was my honor and privilege to visit some of the remotest island communities in our country that Cyclone Malia took me to. I want to say it's reoriented my mind. If I thought isolation was in the highlands, then isolation also in the far-flung island communities of our country. Places like Sudes that I arrived, they take about almost 30 hours, if not 48 hours, to travel from Sudes to Alatau. Island hopping in between for rest. And a little place called Budi Budi, the Budi Budi Island, that was the epicenter of the Cyclone Malia. The cyclone concentrated 7 days in that small island. Only 400 people. They still remain in isolation as we speak. That's why we supported Starlink, because Starlink could be present in those sort of areas for ICT connectivity, because they are unconnected to us by radio, by telephone, or by transportation mode. And so, Mr. Speaker, to answer and keep the reply short, our work to embrace connecting our people who are in island communities will be amplified as we go forward into the future. The balance of Connect PNG will also be looked at linking up with island communities. MDDP 4 speaks about this, but we will make it come big as we live to adjust with climate change related issues and challenges to our people. MDDP 5 hopefully should pick up connecting our island communities in a big way. Milne Bay has many islands. The atolls and islands of Bougainville region, the atolls and islands of Manus province and New Island province are so substantially isolated from the rest of our country. And so I want to speak through this question that those are out there in our remotest islands will be linked up. But we're starting, I think, the districts concerned. Districts like North Bougainville have in the process of having a shipping line connected through them, and they're purchasing a boat as we speak, using a ship as we are using the DSIP funds. I saw the member for Esala launching his ship for his district recently, following member for Pomio, who have invested in this, member for Kendrick Closehouse invested in this. I think, Speaker, yourself, as a member for Manus, with the governor, have worked on something like this, so accommodations to all of you, but utilizing the resources we give to districts and provinces. But as a whole of central government, I want to give commitment to this House. Connect PNG will have a chapter or a program dedicated to linking all our island communities going forward. Thank you, Thomas.
Honourable Member Blerabal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My two questions, without notice, are for our good Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands to respond to. Mr. Speaker, physical land at the ward level throughout the country is no longer enough to sustain the population growth pressure. Disputes between customary landowners and sometimes needless deaths arise from those disputes. Crimes like stealing and other law and order issues arise because of land shortages and disputes. But, Mr. Speaker, when we fly from one center to another in Papua New Guinea, we can only marvel at the vast tracts of undeveloped forest areas below, and wonder if these vast tracts of land, undeveloped forest areas, could be converted to farmlands. My first question, Mr. Speaker, to the Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands, what is preventing an amendment to the definition of public purpose in the Land Act to include resettlement of people needing land for agricultural purposes? Second question, once the definition of public purpose is legally amended, would the legal definition of compulsory acquisition need corrective action too, so that the population growth pressure is slowly removed and the whole land mass of Papua New Guinea converted into farmlands? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I'd like to also thank a good member for Rabal for the very good questions. Land, Mr. Speaker, as we all know, is a very sensitive issue relating to all of us. It is what we as Papua New Guineans subscribe to in our traditional societies, our wealth, our traditional obligations, our prosperity is all tied down to customary land that each of us in this room subscribe to. All of us own land somewhere, either through maternal or through our paternal sides. And everyone in this country subscribes to customary obligations, customary ownership, and land tenure in our customary society. Land in Papua New Guinea, Mr. Speaker, 4% is owned by state or called alienated in two forms. One, outright alienation, and the other by freehold titles. By 96% is owned by our customary people, Mr. Speaker. And when it's owned by our customary people, it comes with a lot of sensitivity when you try to approach that on how to harness land and free it up. For one, creation of wealth, security of tenure, and development purposes, Mr. Speaker. Land in most of our urban peripheries are now
seeing shortage. They're having issues in our urban peripheries. Even in our customary or rural peripheries, in our villages, we all have land disputes, shortage of land, heavy blow land, and stop yumi ogara. Custom walk stop, you got tok blow ground and stop. Now ogara time, you'll walk him ground, plan him house, walk him garden. Ogara is something that come on the tok blow ground. You stop the town, you go back to the place, and tok blow ground is a stop. And Mr. Speaker, this very pertinent question, especially in where the Honorable Marat comes from, where there is a shortage of land in his electorate, and there is a big resettlement program that is happening that I would like to also say between himself and the members for Rabaul, East New Britain, and the governor, we are trying to assist in the relocation of a lot of people that were affected by the volcano many years ago. And that program is still happening to resettle a lot of the people and give them title on the land. Mr. Speaker, our government recognized this issue and 3 years ago appropriated funding and gave me directions to go out and expand a lot of our alienated land. Expanding it to ensure that it is open up for development purposes, so we can grow it from 4% to close to 10%. By freeing up land, we free up development and we free up wealth. Because without land, we cannot have wealth. We cannot build agricultural prospects, we cannot build factories, we cannot build urban subdivisions, because all of this come with association with customary land. And government has progressed with that, and we will be able to table a report, a detailed report to Parliament on where we have come with that progression. It will be a lot more work to be done, and I'm also glad that part of that work was from the Parliamentary Committee headed by Chairman Keith Idaho that has tabled it in Parliament, and we are working closely with the report to ensure we find a solution forward. To harness customary land, Mr. Speaker, we need to harness customary land by auditing all our customary land, auditing all our alienated land, expanding our alienated land, and finding a pathway forward that we can be able to make value, security of tenure, and bankable titles for customary land. Where do we find the middle ground? Where do we find the win-win? Where banks can be able to give security or bankable titles, Mr. Speaker, to our local people so that they can prosper in business, in development, and subscribe to wealth. Mr. Speaker, this work is ongoing. For our peripheries, currently, the Lands Department, in the peripheries of our urban settings, Port Moresby, Lae, and we are now talking to other districts to make certain that we expand land holdings, alienated land, within the peripheries of our urban settings. For Port Moresby alone, we have about 11,000 allotments that is currently undergoing construction, Mr. Speaker. 11,000 allotments, calculating that at about 500,000 kina per allotment for a house and land package, the mathematics is humongous. And not only the 11,000 houses that will be built to alleviate our middle class. 500,000 is for our middle class, Mr. Speaker. 4,000 is in Tuhava. 1,200 is at Taurama. 1,300 is behind Geru at Parkside. 1,300 will be built at Laloki. 2,000 in partnership with number one Super at 9 Mile. Those are 11,000 allotments in the Port Moresby suburb region alone. This is a creation, Mr. Speaker, of new suburbs to alleviate our housing shortages in the NCDC area. 11,000 homes, Mr. Speaker, land and homes packages in partnership with private industry. Nogat Wanpla Toya from government in this endeavor. Not one Toya, Mr. Speaker. But when we do the recovery and you look at the return, you look at the returns on that investment alone, with the Lands Department assisting, ensuring that the basis, the foundation, the guidelines are all done, you will realize, Mr. Speaker, that the return on investment also brings back to government, to consolidated revenue through our SOEs and other stakeholder players. 10,000 homes, 11,000, let's say construction, will build jobs for our people, Mr. Speaker. It will build jobs, skill sets, but at the same token, 10,000 homes, when built, will bring back a return of investment to our SOEs who have not put in one Toya also. It will bring back, for 10,000 homes, averaging at 200 kina per month for power. Multiply that by 10,000. That will bring you back about 24 million, Mr. Speaker, in power returns alone, paid to our state-owned enterprises through PNG Power. For water, Mr. Speaker, it will bring, averaging 100 kina per month for one water supply, will bring you about 14 million kina back into the coffers of the SOE. When you look at land rates at about 500 kina per allotment, Mr. Speaker, per annum, that will bring back 5 million kina per annum back into the coffers of consolidated revenue. A total package, Mr. Speaker, of about 50 million kina per annum, and when you multiply that by 10 years, will be $500 million. That doesn't include the cost of construction, Mr. Speaker, creation of jobs, paying of taxes, and just building the industry, and above all, Mr. Speaker, putting roofs over heads for our people, the hard-working taxpayers. Mr. Speaker, all this done with not one Toya from government for construction. Yes, we have spent money on assisting with surveys. Yes, we have spent money on doing what government should be doing, putting in place the legislation, the policy, the guidance. That is what government should be doing. But the actual construction and partnership is all done by private enterprise, Mr. Speaker, the professionals, the private enterprise people who will then make a return on investment of approximately 50 million back to consolidated revenue. That is in the Port Moresby area alone, Mr. Speaker. For the Ley area, we are now in partnership with Comrade trustees to develop the IGAM development of middle income of 1,300 houses, Mr. Speaker, for the Ley area. And also we are partnering with the Lutheran Church, Mr. Speaker, that will develop the Bumayong area and the Malang area. Partnering with the Lutheran Church, which holds some big tracts of land, Mr. Speaker. That will contribute to the Ley economy. Mr. Speaker, that will contribute also, we'll be working in partnership with the Catholic Church for the Kokopo area, and we are now working closely with the East New Britain provincial government, and we have already allocated titles on some of the subdivisions that has been done in East New Britain. That will be carried out in a lot of our urban peripheries, Mr. Speaker. We are in talks with WIWAC, Goroka, and other urban centers to make certain that we grow all the relevant infrastructure. Because, Mr. Speaker, the population in 1975 was 2.4 million people or 2.6 million people. Today, we stand at about 10 to 11 million people. With 10 to 11 million people, our urban suburbs have been built for a population much, much less than what we have today. So we as government need to grow that. For the agricultural sector, Mr. Speaker, government has plans also working closely with the oil palm minister, who will be bringing a paper to cabinet, jointly sponsored by the lands minister, which is myself, to ensure that we work in partnership, Mr. Speaker, to appropriate certain lands for agricultural growth similar to what has happened in West New Britain. That will grow our agricultural sector, freeing up land, making certain that people who face shortages of land in areas like Rabaul, in areas where their population has grown and cannot be accommodated by land, can be able to apply, Mr. Speaker, and develop 10-hectare blocks, 5-hectare blocks, and contribute the development not only of the family, Mr. Speaker, but contribute to the development of Papua New Guinea. Mr. Speaker, whilst we talk about middle income in urban peripheries, I also would like to commend the good governor for NCDC and commend the Honourable John Kaupa for the subdivisions and the assistance and close consultation we've been working. Lands has given 1,700 hectares, Mr. Speaker, to NCDC so that they can be able to subdivide and provide the necessary urban infrastructure and low-cost housing that can be associated with assisting a lot of our people that have been evicted from certain settlements that they have been sitting on, so they can also be screened through the NCDC system to see how they can be able to assist hard-working taxpayers in the lower income bracket. I repeat, hard-working taxpayers, people who are employed, people who contribute to SMEs, not people who just sit on land that is not theirs. Mr. Speaker, the commendations to the good Honourable Kaupa is 1,700 hectares between him and the governor. They are now working on to develop that, Mr. Speaker, and also government, through the Lands Department, has given them 30 million to make certain that project becomes reality, Mr. Speaker, and we will contribute, we will assist to contribute more, because Yumi can talk, but Mr. Speaker, Honourable Kaupa, now member Blimi lo Mospi, Yumi ogra kan pula lo Mospi. Time Yumi come, Yumi panim house, Yumi panim girao, na all this la, Mr. Speaker. Na trango commendations go to Governor Blumi, who runs a tight ship and a hard job, and also commendations to people like Honourable Kaupa, who tries to find solutions, to help our little people. To help our little people. They call him King of the Settlements, Mr. Speaker, and he is truly a King of the Settlements. Mr. Speaker, our little people, people who cannot afford the 500,000, the 400,000 kina homes, this work is geared towards assisting them. It is working to assist them so that they too can have roofs overheads. Legally, man-mary, we all can find him ground. 50,000 kina, 30,000 kina, government step in, help him, subsidize him, na mipla straight him, na work one time relevant city agency, which is the NCDC governor, one time local member blow. Mr. Speaker, mipla I work now lo Nadzab city to build the first city after 1975. That is work in progress, and we have found solutions, and that will be done very, very shortly. Mr. Speaker, I sympathize with all members who face the problems of our people associated with land ownership and land tenureship. And I would like to assure this House, Mr. Speaker, that we will work closely with the report from the good chairman from the Land Parliamentary Committee, and we will try to find solutions and have those solutions escalated to ensure our people are given proper roofs over their heads and also proper places for them to stay and proper places where all can develop in ground blow. Mr. Speaker, ground and big plus something. We approach this in a conscious, sensitive way so that all gada liglik man meri blumi can igat good ground, but approach in partnership with them, work one time more, na you try and find him solutions, la alibi more, na give him security of tenure long all, so that this like ground, he can develop, na work in money, Mr. Speaker, for Papua New Guinea as a whole. If we free up land, we free up wealth, and we free up development for nation. Mr. Speaker, thank you too much.
Honorable members, question time, Emi Kamare Blonol Sem. Honorable Minister of Petroleum.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On Tuesday, the Honourable Member for Abao Pukatemu raised a series of important questions concerning a number of issues. So I want to respond to those questions now, Mr. Speaker. Me seek leave no respond no these are all questions that Honourable Sepuka have been asking myself. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, the questions that Honourable Sepuka raised were, number one, the Papua LNG project with respect to that. Number two, the Mailu Deepwater Exploration Program. Number three, the downstream petroleum processing, what the government's policy was on that. And local participation of all Papua New Guineans in those projects. And lastly, the future petroleum opportunity within the central province and the adjoining prospecting licenses, petroleum prospecting licenses around Abao electorate. Mr. Speaker, I gave my undertaking to provide more detailed responses and given the national significance of these projects, including the exciting Mailu prospect, which falls within the Honourable Member's electorate. I'm now pleased to provide those responses to the Honourable Member. Mr. Speaker, the Papua LNG project is now at an advanced stage of development. The project developer, Total Energy, has confirmed that the final investment decision is expected within this year. This was also confirmed when Honourable Prime Minister, Honourable Marape, did a state visit to France in the last 2 weeks and met with the Total Energy Chairman and President, and he confirms that unequivocally that we will have an FID before the end of this year. This represents a major milestone for Papua New Guinea and reflects growing confidence in the country, petroleum sector and investment environment. The development forum process is expected to commence in July 2026 and continue for over 2 months period. We will mobilize the landowners and the respective interested parties late June and then commence the development forum in early July. The development forum will bring together the state, project developers, provincial governments, local level governments, and more importantly, the district development authorities and other stakeholders to negotiate and agree to the benefit sharing arrangement. The delay in having this was because, more importantly, the what we call a director's proposal. And we were waiting for the economic modeling for the project partners to get to the department.
Honourable Minister, we have a point of order. Honourable Member, what's your point of order?
Just ask him to solve suppose you give him leave law. Parlamento, mipla ba to right? Lo ang bawakim statement o Islam mipla no arim.
Honourable Member Blong, Bulolo, and Honourable Minister, and by seeking leave lo chair. So chair grant him leave finish. Na Amy can go ahead na answer a question long. Honourable Minister of Petroleum, you can continue long answer.
Thank you,
Mr. Ask him.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So display delay me explaining him. So also no development forum is waiting economic modeling come back. There were some changes in the capital investment figures. So now it's over the figures he come back no National Petroleum Authority. So we've now finalized the director's proposal. Basically, the director's proposal indicates how much money we can book him amongst all landowners, provinces, LLGs, or district development authorities and other stakeholders who will be affected by this project. Let me come back, Mr. Speaker, to say that under the negotiated fiscal framework for Papua LNG, the project take is approximately 52%. This is based on improved royalty calculation together with the inclusion of production levy, which was never included in PNG LNG, now Blabrigham comes in, which was now, we can also break that amount, that new income to the respective stakeholders. Papua LNG also introduces domestic market obligation or DMO gas. That was never also under the PNG LNG. Under the current framework, 5% of production will be reserved for domestic market at approximately $4.50 per MMBTU. PNG LNG does not contain any domestic market obligations. Existing domestic market supply arrangements to Dirio and New Power are based on approximately 9% of JCC. I'm difficult, but this low price in our formulas and something low gas, our gas company in the international market. So JCC basically means Japanese crude cocktail pricing. By comparison, Mr. Speaker, the proposed Papuan LNG DMO pricing structure at $4.50 per MMBTU is equivalent to around 6% of JCC under the current market conditions. The government remains committed to ensuring Papuan LNG delivers long-term economic benefits, employment opportunity, infrastructure development, and sustainable return for Papua New Guinea. Now, we're coming now to Mailu PPL 576, Deepwater Exploration Program that our honourable member has asked. Mr. Speaker, the Mailu Deepwater Exploration Program remains on schedule and is an exciting prospect for Papua New Guinea. The project is a joint venture between Total Energy and Petronas of Malaysia. Mr. Speaker, the exploration drilling will be undertaken offshore using a drill ship, namely Noble Viking. Two of our National Petroleum Authority inspectors are scheduled to travel on Friday to Labuan, which is tomorrow, Labuan in Malaysia, to undertake inspection and compliance verification of the Noble Viking drill ship. Total Energy is expected to formally take over the drill ship this Friday and undertake load-out activities in Labuan between 30th of May and 3rd of June 2026. The drill ship is expected to sail from Labuan on the 3rd of June with an estimated transit period of approximately 13 to 14 days. Current schedule, Mr. Speaker, indicates that the drill ship will arrive in Papua New Guinea and at the drill location around 16th of June 2026. Loadout activities in Papua New Guinea are expected to occur between 16th and the 19th of June. Current operational schedule indicate that the world spud date is expected to be between 19th of June and 22nd of June. Then they will drill for 47 days in the deep sea, in the drill area. And the 47 days, they say it's a deep case. A dry case. So 47, so only finding was no got oil, no slab. After 47 days, they will abandon the well. If they do find positive oil findings, then they will continue to drill and test the site. Mr. Speaker, this demonstrates that the project is progressing rapidly and remains firmly on track. Given the strategic significance of this exploration program, government has directed that all adjacent and nearby petroleum blocks that have been issued be placed on hold pending the outcome of the Mailu drilling program. Future petroleum licensing in these offshore areas will be offered through international tender and competitive bid process linked to the government new production sharing fiscal framework, which will be introduced before the end of this year. The National Petroleum Authority is closely monitoring developments to ensure transparency, technical compliance, operational safety, and protection of national interests. Now, coming down to downstream processing and local refinery policy, which was raised in the Parliament on Tuesday. Mr. Speaker, the Marape Rosso government is now placing strong emphasis on downstream processing and greater country value adding of Papua New Guinea petroleum and mineral resources. Mr. Speaker, the government acknowledges concerns raised regarding more than 3 decades of crude oil exports with limited visible development outcomes for our country. The government, through the National Petroleum Authority, is developing a petroleum downstream policy with limited visible development outcomes. The government, through the National Petroleum Authority, is also developing a downstream processing, a policy which we will introduce before the end of 2026. The policy will address national energy security, downstream processing opportunity, domestic refined capacity, and related petroleum businesses within Papua New Guinea. Mr. Speaker, the government is seriously assessing the establishment of a national refinery policy in light of the current global developments, energy security consideration, and the need to strengthen downstream petroleum capacity within Papua New Guinea. This assessment also considers the future role of the existing Napa Napa refinery infrastructure. The government's long-term policy direction is to refine more of our raw materials within Papua New Guinea and export processed petroleum products to Australia and other countries in the region, rather than continuing exporting raw resources only. Also in this context, the government is now seeking larger domestic market allocation for oil and gas during negotiation for future oil and gas agreements under the production sharing policy. The policy direction commences with Papuan LNG and will continue into the future projects, including Pinyang and major petroleum developments. For the proposed Pinyang project that this government under Prime Minister Marape, the projected state take is approximately 63%. This hasn't been done in the past. In the Papuan LNG, it was only 52% stake, but let's take our hats off Prime Minister Marape for negotiating up to 63% of state take. This was also, and give commendation to this government, also driven a higher production levy arrangement together with an additional 10% equity participation to the state and to the landowners and the provincial government of Papua New Guinea. Thank you, Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister Rosso. The final equity pricing arrangement remains under discussion at this stage for Pinyang. Pinyang will also contain domestic market obligation, provision equivalent to 5% of production under the tiered pricing structure. Government fully recognizes the importance of ensuring host communities, local level governments, district and provinces receive meaningful economic participation and downstream business opportunities arising from these developments. Petroleum prospecting in Central Province. Mr. Speaker, available geological and seismic data indicate that the offshore and onshore petroleum prospectivity across Central Province remain highly promising. Operators including Total, ExxonMobil and Laris Energy continue to hold significant interest in the region based on those technical data available. The Mailu prospect itself is regarded as one of the most significant and exciting frontier exploration targets in the region. And let me say that out of Total Energy's 156 prospects around the world, Mailu comes at number 3. The outcome of the current drilling program will provide important technical data for the surrounding acreages and future exploration activities. The government remains optimistic about the long-term petroleum potential of Central Province and the adjoining offshore basins. Community awareness and preparedness. Mr. Speaker, the government agrees that early awareness and community preparedness are critical in anticipation of any future petroleum development. The National Petroleum Authority, together with relevant government agencies, will work closely with the leaders from Abao, Central Province, and Milne Bay Province to support awareness programs and community engagement initiatives. These awareness activities will focus on landowner identification, project structure, workforce readiness, business participation, opportunity for communities. The government wants local communities to be properly informed, organized, and prepared to participate meaningfully in the future project opportunity. Mr. Speaker, the government fully supports the engagement of international technical and commercial expertise where necessary and appropriate to strengthen negotiation and maximize national benefits for the developments. This includes identifying the rightful landowners and other stakeholders in the district and in the province. The Marape Rosso government's objective remains clear. Papua New Guinea must secure fair value and sustainable long-term benefits for its petroleum resources, while strengthening national capacity and increasing local participation across the sector. I thank the honourable member for above for these questions, and I trust this response suffice. Thank you.
Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, welcome back. Nagutola Lukimiu too. I ask leave of Parliament to move a motion without notice, Mr. Speaker.
Granted. Leave granted. Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I move that summons of standing orders be suspended as would prevent orders of the day number 209, government business, being called on forthwith.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Mr. Clerk.
Order of the day 209, Department of Implementation and Rural Development, Bilum Digital Platform Awareness Report 2023, paper and statement, motion to take note of paper, resumption of debate from 27 March. Mr. Prime Minister, in continuation on the motion of Mr. James Marape that the Parliament take note of the paper.
Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to contribute to the first debate of this very significant intervention by the Marape Rosso government on the backdrop of the government celebrating and the country celebrating 50 years as a nation, and our Honourable Prime Minister on September 16, 2024, in Parliament Hill, pronouncing to the country that this government is moving towards a digital government. And I want to commend Honourable Lelang as the Minister responsible for Rural and Economic Development in taking carriage of his responsibility and now moving towards a digital platform in making and allowing our districts and our provinces to be accountable in the resources that we provide to our people, to serve our people. Mr. Speaker, Papua New Guinea is a unique nation. More than 85% of our people live in our rural, remote, and maritime mountainous communities across islands, coastlines, valleys, river systems, and rugged highlands. We're a nation of 96 districts, 21 provinces, and the special region of Bougainville. We spread across one of the most geographically challenging environment in the globe, Mr. Speaker. Because of this reality, successive governments established the District Services Improvement Program and Provincial Services Improvement Program to ensure that resources reach every corner of this beautiful country equally. The intention was simple: to take development closer to the people. Mr. Speaker, over the years, billions of kina have been appropriated through DSIP and PSIP. But this government, the Marape Rosso government, has taken the responsibility to be accountable, deploying the digital transformation into the work we do, particularly in the Ministry of Rural and Economic Development. Today, more than 1 billion is allocated annually to districts and provinces under these programs. But the national conversation has now shifted. The issue before this House is no longer simply about releasing funds. The issue is accountability, and the Marape Rosso government is translating that into action through this ministry, and I appreciate Honourable Lelang in his efforts thus far. This issue is transparency. The issue whether these resources are translating into real services
and measurable development outcomes for our people. That is why the Marape Rosa government introduced the Bilum digital platform. Mr. Speaker, the Bilum digital platform represents one of the most significant governance reforms undertaken in management of DSIP and PSIP funds. For the first time, districts and provincial administrations are now able to digitally upload project information, implementation updates, acquittals, and report into the Central National Monitoring System. And at this juncture, I also want to appreciate all our leaders yesterday being present at our state function room to witness what has been one of the most significant reforms under our finance department through our Minister, Honorable Thomas Sopa, in releasing the new reforms under finance, in ensuring that we all become accountable. And there's a specific provision in there that allows national MPs to take more careful note in applying the rules of engagement in terms of disbursement of the funds you are allocated. Now, Mr. Speaker, through these platforms, every project becomes visible. Every report becomes traceable. Every kina spent becomes accountable. Mr. Speaker, this system strengthens transparency, improves reporting timelines, enhances planning, and allows the national government to monitor service delivery outcomes in real time, Mr. Speaker. Most importantly, it begins to close the space for abuse, shortcuts, weak reporting, and misuse of public funds. Mr. Speaker, the rollout has already commenced across provinces, including, as we heard yesterday, Morobe, Western Highlands, Simbu, Eastern Highlands, Milne Bay, East New Britain, and West New Britain. Provincial and district officers have undergone awareness training, digital onboarding, and technical introduction programs to ensure the system is fully operational, Mr. Speaker. Several districts and provinces have already submitted their reports digitally through the platform. This demonstrates that Papua New Guinea is now moving towards a modern system of governance where accountability, Mr. Speaker, and service delivery are data-driven and measurable, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, however, we must also acknowledge a major reality confronting our nation. A digital reporting platform cannot function effectively without digital connectivity. Many of our districts continue to face unreliable internet, poor telecommunication infrastructure, remoteness, logistical difficulties, and deployed communication with Waigani. This is why another transformational intervention introduced under this government is the rollout of Starlink and satellite internet connectivity across Papua New Guinea. Mr. Speaker, this introduction of Starlink is not merely on ICT reform. It is a nation-building reform. For the first time, remote districts, health centers, schools, disaster centers, and government offices can now connect directly into the national digital governance system regardless of geography. Starlink now complements the Bilum digital platform by enabling real-time reporting, fostering acquittals, faster acquittals, pardon me, Speaker, live project monitoring, digital oversight, improved disaster coordination, and direct communication between rural districts and national government, Mr. Speaker. This means a district in Telefomin, a coastal community in Milne Bay, or an island in the remote parts of Manus or Bougainville can now participate equally in the national development framework. Mr. Speaker, this is transformational. And Mr. Speaker, the future of Papua New Guinea will not only depend on roads, bridges, ports and airports. It will also depend on digital highways. This is why Connect PNG and digital connectivity must work together, Mr. Speaker. Physical infrastructure connects people physically. Digital infrastructure connects people economically, institutionally, and socially. Together, they form the two major arteries of socio-economic transformation in Papua New Guinea, Mr. Speaker. As leaders, we must now move away from fragmented and isolated development approaches. And Mr. Speaker, districts and provinces cannot operate independently from national priorities. DSIP and PSIP must align with the medium-term development plan, Connect PNG, health priorities, education reforms, economic growth priorities and strategies, and national digital transformation objectives. Mr. Speaker, Papua New Guinea is at the cusp of real transformation. And this intervention through the Bilum project represents the beginning of accountability and transformation in our country. And Mr. Speaker, I want to again commend our good minister for the intervention, and I encourage all our members of parliament to now take note of this transformation and participate so that we can all become accountable to our people and ensure that we all collectively as leaders be transparent to our people and be accountable to all our taxpayers in our country using the digital platform and the platform provided for by the Minister for Rural and Economic Development, which is the Bilum digital platform. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minister of Public Service.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to commend the Minister next to me, Honorable Lelang, for bringing the Bilum project to life and to be rolled out throughout the country. I'd like to also commend take this time, Mr. Speaker, to thank the Prime Minister for creating this ministry and to give prominence to the Office of Implementation and Rural Development. It's a very important office that is responsible for the disbursement of DSGs and DSIPs, or PSGs and PSIPs. This funding that we are now receiving for our respective electorates, Mr. Speaker, is unprecedented. No government in the past has ever released and made available such funding to the provinces and the districts. It has never been in the history of this country. Only God knows how things has worked up to us, and we are in this parliament, seated right here, Mr. Speaker, are the privileged leaders of this country to be the custodians of the funding that should go down to our people and should translate into services for our people, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, during the Christmas period, I was with you in Manus, and you showed me physically on what you did yourself in Manus district or province. And that it's so satisfying when you see physical infrastructure taking place all across this country, Mr. Speaker. Back in 2019, when the Prime Minister, I thank the Prime Minister for appointing me as Vice Minister back in 2019, I went into the Office of Rural Development as the Vice Minister. And I was briefed and taken around to the office and saw, Mr. Speaker, faced and saw all the stacks and stacks of files of all the respective electorates sitting in the small office of the Office of Rural Development. And I was wondering, as a former provincial administrator, what would I do to come up to rescue the department that was filed and bombarded with 7 files for each electorate, 7 files for each sector, education, health, infrastructure, all this totaled to 5 for each electorate, meaning that provinces, districts. And this small office was stuck with papers. So I wanted to look for some answer, Mr. Speaker, and some assistance. So I requested for a coffee with the Minister Councillor in Australian High Com. And I told him that we have a problem in this department. This is the most important department that should report back to the government and also tell the country and the people how much money has gone down and whether that money has actually been spent for its purpose and its use. So, Mr. Speaker, we came up with, I told them that can we be able to, I asked Mr. Speaker, is it possible to go paperless? Because it's, as former provincial administrator, I cannot submit here. So, Mr. Speaker, what we did was we tried it out and we see what we can do, but we needed some funding. And on this occasion, and the presentation by our respective minister, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to commend the former Vice Minister at the time before me, Honorable Johnson Wapunai. And also the Prime Minister himself, yourself, when you were Finance Minister, you provided some funding and left it as a PIP in the Office of Rural Development. And I was able to identify the 300,000 to kickstart this billing project. And so that's how the history started with the billing project, and the rest is history. Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to point out on the experiences that I've faced, and I experienced myself to make sure that the full implementation of the billing project is fully implemented in my district in Nuku. And I very well support the debate and support by our leader of government business, Minister for Works and ICT, acting. I'd like to take this time to support the idea that the two main important things that is required in the districts to report on this, or even the provinces, is communication and the commitment and the caliber of public servants that you should have in all the electorates that are supposed to be preparing these documents to submit online. Two main departments: the provincial administration, Mr. Speaker, which is the provincial administrator for the case of provincial governments, and the district administrators for the case of districts. The next is the provincial finance manager for the case of provinces, and the district finance manager for the case of districts. These key heads of our agencies in the provinces and districts play a very important role. If they are not going to be, Mr. Speaker, going to be responsive to circulars coming from the national departments, nothing is going to happen. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to point to us all that whilst we're all looking at the money going down, we need to also look at the caliber of our public servants that we recruit and we support to get them as district administrators or provincial administrators, number one, and also our provincial finance managers, Mr. Speaker, and also the district finance managers. I'd like to take this time to commend my district administrator in Nuku. I also take this time to commend my district finance manager in Nuku and all the staff in Nuku who have worked tirelessly to make sure that they understand and process this concept. And this is no longer a concept, it's now a reality, because we can now press a button and report on what is happening in Nuku by a press of a button in the computer system. And so this makes it very easy, Mr. Speaker. The other point that I want to, a point of acknowledgement here, Mr. Speaker, is to thank the Australian High Commission and to thank the people of Australia and the government of Australia, because they responded to almost an idea that I threw out at the time in 2019, whether it will work or it will work. It will not work. But they actually had faith, Mr. Speaker, in this proposition that I gave, and now it's reality. And I can confidently, Mr. Speaker, say with all the members of Parliament that it has made life easy for my district to easily press the button and report on the acquittals. Because one of the biggest problems we face also, Mr. Speaker, is that if you leave all these things to our officers in Guinea, you know what's going to happen. If Ombudsman Commission runs after you, or police, or whoever, you've got officers in the Office of Rural Development who can be able to get a paper and say, this is. But in this case, Mr. Speaker, it's no longer available. Everything is done online because the same report is sent to police department, And the same report is also sent to Finance, Planning, and also sent to Ombudsman Commission. So if a aggrieved person has some agenda with us as leaders or even our provincial administrators or our districts and approach Ombudsman Commission, Mr. Speaker, the Ombudsman Commission has already been copied online on your acquittals, so you basically have no entertainment of such people who come with malicious character to try to demean your character, because it's all online and nothing is going to hide from this. So I fully want to take this time, Mr. Speaker, to comment on this. It's a very important project. I want to encourage those of you that have already started to continue and get your district administrators, district finance managers, provincial administrators, and provincial finance managers to appoint and make sure that those committed officers work on it seriously so that they can report it. And Mr. Speaker, before I finish, we know that we do a lot. We have done a lot in the districts, because district is where implementation takes place. You can physically see the classroom building in the district. You can physically see the aid post in the district. You can physically drive on the road in the district. At the national province, it's just a seats of government. Physically, everything is happening at the district level. So I encourage, Mr. Speaker, yourself as the member for Manus, and also all of us as open members, to take ownership of this project, make it happen so that we can report back to our people where we've spent the money and how it will be spent, without paper, but paperless. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to share my experience on the building project.
Honorable Governor for Northern.
Mr. Speaker, I wish to add to this debate. I have only a few words to say about this, and I want to commend the Minister. And I take note of the comments made by the Minister for Public Service. And I want to add this, that this should be mandatory for all provinces and all districts. And Minister for Public Service, Mr. Speaker, perhaps you can give an instruction to all the administrators, district administrators and provincial administrators, that this is mandatory, so that it's not just given to a few select provinces or left for open members or provincial governors to go and find these people that are responsible and bring them and try to get this up and running. This should be mandatory. It should be mandatory. And taking advantage of the technology that we have available today, this type of measures are very much readily available and can be implemented. This can be scaled so that all provinces, all districts should have this. It should be a KPI of every provincial administrator and every district administrator, that they must have this system in place and they must be reporting accordingly, periodically, without members of parliament having to run around becoming project managers, chasing up after reports. So make this mandatory. Minister for Public Service, through you, Mr. Speaker, I urge you to make this an effort that is mandatory. Get your secretary to summon all the administrators to a workshop, sit them down and say, this needs to happen. And then the administrators in the provinces can then summon their district administrators to do the same. And get them to work and report accordingly. Because if you leave it to the open members or the governors, we've got so many other responsibilities. We don't have the wherewithal to run around looking for this, the people who are going to come and implement this, etc., etc. It's going to take too long. Make it mandatory. The other thing is, we are talking about the public servants that are out there that are going to be carrying out this type of responsibilities. First and foremost, another thing that should be also mandatory is housing for the public servants. You've got to review the welfare and benefits of the public servants that we want to be out there doing this type of work. We want to attract the best in the public sector. We're not able to do that right now. Why? Because we aren't able to take care of them. They don't have decent housing. They don't have decent conditions. They don't have health care. But we expect them to turn up to work and be loyal and patriotic and build this nation. How? With what? Again, through you, Mr. Speaker, to the good Minister for Public Service, who's doing a magnificent job. Make this mandatory. And then, next to this, the other urgent matter that you should attend to is the welfare and benefits of our public servants. If you look at before independence, the average public servant in Papua New Guinea, every district and station that you went to, they were thriving. And every public servant, whether he was just an ordinary laborer cutting grass, or whether he was a driver, or whether he was the district manager, he had a house. And so he felt compelled and loyal to the organization that was looking after him and taking care of him. Today, senior public servants are living in villages, in settlements, but you expect them to come to work and be inspired and build this nation? How? So it comes back to us as a government. And we need to look at what's going wrong in the districts and provinces, and I can tell you that the biggest problem is that the welfare and benefits of our public servants are not being attended to. Then we can hold them accountable, because right now we're trying to hold them accountable, but we're not taking care of them. You know. The public servants, you know, I was a public servant. We're like the guard dogs of the economy, of your district, of your province. If you look after your dog, it's going to stay in your house and look after your house. You go home and don't feed Snoopy for 1 week and see what happens. It's going to be next door, down the road, somewhere else. It's not going to be giving full attention to protecting your house. He doesn't care about you and your house. You know, he'll hold signs and say, this is where you can go and enter the house easily and take this and that and whatever you want. You think him? So you look him dog, look at him house, you must look at him dog too. God dog blue you. Nampla cross him all, nampla talk, you need calm, na patriotic, na you must walk, na save him country blue you, na build him nation blue you. Aye, house plan subway. Stablo place na settlement. Planti money blow nem trome lo PMV lo kam lo walk, na go back in. Begini blow no go school lo good lahap. Emba lose him house, lose him walk lo 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Emba not come back too. Emba 60 go na sim begini. Look at him begini past time. And then Karamol begini go lo house lo nabla man or Mary. Na stop lo hap. Na you like him lo inspired lo kam lo build him nation lo mipla. This plan nation mipla talk em got pull up lo gold na gas na oil na kind something on some. Na mipla no na look at him also line believe me by walking so kind walk ya. So, sila building project them good la project. And mandatory mipla must make him go all get the district, all get the province. But look out in welfare and benefits for public servants for you too. Online by working sila work lo, operating sila building project for you me. So I'm also legally talk lo me like karam kam lo ya. Lo mipla lo ora province just to no good me talk na mipla talk say na you yet you work him on no god. Mipla allocate him 38 hectares of land lo province lo me lo staff housing. We'll allocating 1 million kilo lo committee blom lo establish him lo committee lo make sure some staff housing by staff lo public servants lo me. Budget too mipla by revise him so that mipla by first build him 20 pla house. Mipla identify him 35 pla house staff one time National Housing Commission good la minister lo me lo housing. One pla active man through action man. Talk also by help him plus so me stand by lo disla. So mipla move lo disla. Na two mipla work lo look lo right size him administration lo you me. So that Mipla can still retain him funding he come lo Mipla, but Mipla can spread him go lo displa lick unit where Mipla by create him lo manage him also work. Health and education, yes, we need more public servants in these areas because that has to grow in tandem with the growth of the population of this nation. But in other areas we can use technology. We can use technology and you can reduce the workforce by 30–40%. And then you can pay them better, give them better conditions, better housing, healthcare. And you see they will work, productivity will go through the roof. I did it in customs and I saw it work. That's why I'm talking about this. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I thought I would just share some thoughts about the Bilum project and how it should be mandatory throughout the entire country. And instead of just asking or inviting public servants to do, you make it one of the KPIs. Minister for Public Service, come on, you know, Secretary of you. Sing out the all the administrator come na sinda ni all by signing one contract or something. This all by working.
and then hold them accountable and kiss him report every quarter. Now suppose all submit him report, you penalize them. After 3 penalties, you sack them, terminate their contract. That's how you run an organization. Not tell them and warn them and, feel sorry for them and then don't do anything about it. Man, goodness. Thank you.
Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just to contribute briefly to the debate. First of all, I commend the Marape Rosso government for this extremely positive digital intervention, and commendation to the minister responsible, the Honourable Joseph Lelang. Mr. Speaker, I take note that the digital platform deals with DSIP and PSIP, and just some notes for the good minister to also take on board as they can look towards expanding the application of the digital platform, like suggested by the Honourable Governor for Northern, to all provinces. The DSIP, PSIP only deals with 5% of the total budget in the country. Take note of what the Honourable Leader of Government Business said with respect to promoting transparency and accountability of public monies, which is so important to the people of Papua New Guinea. But this, there has to be better coordination between the use of the platform by DIRD and how finance releases funds, and that comes back to Treasury, the release of warrants, and it comes back to the tenet of the preamble of the Constitution, equity. Equity. Some districts get more funding than other districts. Some provinces receive more funding than other provinces. So through the digital platform, if the digital platform has the business logic to enforce equity as per the budget, then it would completely change how all provinces and districts participate in development. Mr. Speaker, it's important for the House to understand that promoting equity will also see different provinces and different districts achieve different levels of development because of their current development profile. All provinces and districts aren't the same. We don't have the same resources. We're not at the same development stage. So this is something, Mr. Speaker, that I thought is important for government to take note of, and especially with the efforts of the minister with respect to this digital platform to see how best it can enforce equity. And also with respect to the budget expenditure by the ministers, can the digital platform extend to incorporate how ministers spend money, spend public money, drive public policy? To date, Mr. Speaker, just for the record of the Honourable House, in inquiring about how the 2025 national budget was expended, the only minister, Mr. Speaker, which is the Honourable Joe Cooley, just publicly responded to the opposition to say he spent 195 million budgeted in the 2025 budget on X, Y, and Z. These were the constraints he faced, and these were the achievements that he made, and he's looking forward to progress public policy, government policy in 2026 with these measures. He was just so transparent. This is required under Section 37 of the Constitution. All other ministers blanketly told the opposition that it's none of our business. Section 37 of the Constitution requires you to put this public information public. Ministers being allocated public funds, it's not your private money. So the country and the opposition, the people of Papua New Guinea, have a right to know, Mr. Speaker, how this money was spent to improve development indicators for the people of Papua New Guinea. Police, works, lands, transport. We have a right to know. So for the opposition, we'd like to see this digital platform extend to enforce accountability on the executive. Then and only then
will we see that the government's serious about accountability, transparency, and good governance. Because DSIP, PSIP only represents 5% of the total national budget. And as the budget increases, that percentage will be lower over time. But otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I salute the government for adopting digital technology to help in timely reporting, collaboration. This will definitely create synergies that will promote development in the districts and provinces, and it is welcomed and it is timely, and we commend the Minister. Please take on board some of the suggestions and continue to do the good work that you're doing. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Minister Lumani.
Thank you, Speaker Luke Savel. Me like contributing legally discussion or legally talk good talk when we come up in this. And first of all, I would like to acknowledge the Minister for Rural Development for this transformative initiative, Lobilum Project. Mr. Speaker, you said Papua New Guinea is made up of islands, atolls, mountain, bush, na solwara. Some districts tablo antablo solwara, some district stop inside lo big pla bush, na namel lo big pla mountain. And it's very difficult lo carry mol report where past time mibla sa simol report kam na carry kam lo waigani na present him lo thick documents lo hard copies, and it's costly. The classic example is many time mibla carry mol report kam and mol thick documents mibla carry kam lo lay, and then we have to housing all workman lo lay accommodation lo kaika lo, and lo printing all this lo documents. It's a costly exercise. Na balus ticket come lo must be must look out him all too lo must be na salim all go back, and sometimes when they're here in must be all officers lo department also have a delay in time again. Tomorrow another day you come back again, and then they have to incur a lot of cost lo deliver him this report here in Waigani. And this initiative where department minister were take him lo put him online, it's a right step in the right direction. And by cutting back a lot of cost, and for delivering service lo country, chairman or speaker or semuyet staff lo namel lo solwara lo manus 10 million Savegolo district na provinces, but some of the actual cost of the 10 million lo place or semenemnya lo telephone lo middle ramu lo manus, it's not that 10 million. Most of the time a lot of transport costs have a money, and the actual cost of delivering service is around 5 million or 6 million. So time we are distributing equally in the country. Some of the places, the provinces, the district, we are not equal. We are disadvantaged, and such initiative will help the districts and the province. Instead of incurring more costs, they can be at their districts, lo stop lo workstation blow, lo salim lo report kam lo waigani, rather than incurring those costs. So me like commend him, minister, na me like commend him, Marape Rosso government, me plus tablo digital age, so we going into this direction to send the reports. Also, it improves the reporting process, and also the monitoring of money where MSAVEGO or districts, government year in, year out, MSAVE fail law, salim money go or districts and all provinces. And then also, those money go or districts and provinces must be translated into real development inside law districts and inside law provinces. So plenty time, mibla sa wagi mo report, wagi no come up law place, but mibla cut and paste na salim report kam na kari kam lo waigani. So those actual reports where salim kam lo online, yimi salim kam work too must come up law place, lo money mark where government salim go law places inside law districts na inside law province below yumi so. Naraplayam. Milagim challenge lo department time all this lo report come lo digital aid lo waigani through lo digital system. Department too must go and look on the ground that makes all this law will work and come up. Someone can be just behind the computers
Stop lo place lo menemnya na salim this la report kam, whereas this la classroom or this la housing no sanap lo on the ground. So nangu you mix him reports as well lo waiganin you mean no check him whether work him come up lo place or inside lo a big bush, inside lo mountain or nambis this la work come up na report as well mix him na mi plating was true report come. So pasin lo look saven na monitoring all this blah. Now go back and check him was work and me true come up must come up lamelo lo department must monitoring all this plus. So this thinking where me like bringing come na me committee minister na department lo this plus we by improving efficiency na timely reporting lo money where government and salim go na work to must come up one kind of same. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I want to prefix my support to the Minister's paper with few observations, and I want to start by comparing some statistics, Mr. Speaker. Our country is a big country with big challenges that needs concerted effort in using our limited resources wisely. Mr. Speaker, I compare New Zealand and Papua New Guinea. At 1975, the size of our country and New Zealand remained various sizes of our country. Let me use population statistics, size of our roads, size of our economy, and size of our land mass. New Zealand is a country sized at 268,000 square kilometers, rounded off. Papua New Guinea is a country sized at 462,840 square kilometers, rounded off. So we have a bigger country than New Zealand in terms of land size. I want to also state and that size has remained from 1975 up till today because land don't change. But I want to indicate the size of our population. At 1975, New Zealand was 3 million people. Papua New Guinea was just a shade under 3 million, 2.8 million people from what my notes tell me. The size of our economy at 1975 was around 1 billion kina, 1 billion US dollar. Kina and US was part $1 to 1 kina almost, so I rounded off to 1 billion US dollar at 1975. New Zealand economy was sized around $12 billion at 1975. The kilometers of road New Zealand had in 1975, 70% unsealed, but it was 92,219 kilometers of road at 1975. The kilometers of road we had in 1975 was around 5,000 kilometers of road at 1975. The kilometers of road New Zealand have at 2025 is about 97,000 kilometers of road. They put additional 5,000 kilometers on in their country. But interestingly, 70% of that road now is sealed roads. So they've sealed almost 70% of their 97,000 kilometers of road. Papua New Guinea, our kilometer of road remains, now we've improved to only 30,000 kilometers of road, with less than 20% of that sealed. So you may clear the statistics, me compare New Zealand, an island country or some Yumi. Population, you may start in 1975, around the same, they were a little bit more. Economy, you may too, much difference. You may around $1 billion, now only $11 to $12 billion. Well, economy blow 2025, now I'm around $250 billion. Economy blow 2025, I'm around $30 billion or $32 billion. So globally, very, very small. Global, very, very big. It's clearly depicted in the types of road we have as one measurement indicator. That only got now 97,000 kilometers of road, 60 to 70% sealed. Yumi increasing from 5,000 go on 30,000 tasol, provincial road, district road, and national road. Only of that less than 20% sealed. Economy limit goes around 32 billion tasol. Population limit go abusim through. All stop today at only around 5 million people. From 3 million in 1975, all go 5 million. You mean from under 3 million in 1975, you mean go now abusim finish 10 million people. And me like how much Lord, good la talk, all leaders in me talk. Today you me sit down. Lo, our public gallery, me like looks how long feature of our country represented by two clusters of students we have here. Students from our urban setting, represented by Hola Demonstration School, and all my children up there, me talk hello lo yupla, thank you lo yupla, sit down right through and listen to all yupla, so Hola them. Me Hola boy too, na me clear lo yupla Hola them, yupla stalo atap so. I look how lo yupla line lo Hola, yupla sit down stop on top. Me also look how long students belong Maximilian Ipanama Primary School of Central Province. Minister Siamaleli did allude to one important point. 85% of Papua New Guinea belongs to Maximilian Primary School type of people. Stablo place yet. 15% are all Stablo urban areas. Our challenges remain very big. Simply put, to summarize my statistical and background context. Island community, Kana Semlo Yuet Lomanus, Mr. Speaker, you got Wulu, Nawa, Lost Negros line, all is stop. La Bougainville region, imigat or line blimi long. Modlock, na Tasman, na Nissan, Cataract, Million Bay, me visit him, and Dobu meet call him, na Ogad Island, last place or first place, Russell Island, Sudest. I come, me go on top of Mipla Mountain. Me yet me come to last place, can place all call him Oxamin, you plus some blind or sour. You plan to go to. Sisimin, you plan to say I'm stable one up, all time stable place play me. Mr. Speaker, you clear Sisimin stable where? You know clear. You turn him. But Sisimin is stop. I was a place floor, brother Lumi, opposite leader, he got kind place all call him Elibari stop, Siana stop. Fan you first up. Backside. 85% of our people are in the rural areas. Mr. Speaker, me and Maslo talk to the opposition leader, I'm asking for accountability. And work local law, sing out accountability. You now set in Bilumia law account law. Liklik one can we try best law till him. District report, province report. Now law people line whole national portfolio to you must report. Work law departments heads law report. Chief Secretary has already been put in notice to get all department heads to report on funds they've received. One fund you kisim, level block and you kisim, you report long. A budget misla, but you kisim misla, report lo display you kisim. Plenty time, people, Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, Cabinet Ministers kisim, name no good. I'm all right. People enough kisim too because people was law display department. We're now trying to ramp up accountability. You look at statistics, New Zealand, Nayumi. We almost around the same space at 1975. Yet we've been, the only productive thing we've been doing among some is producing babies. We've grown up so fast. And every baby produced into this country needs a kina to help service in education, road, health, law and order, everything else. So the Bilum project is a simplified version law. Tram lo yumi ol district kisim. Mani yumi report long. How much you kisim you report? Mikili ol brother lo mi oppositions are complain or some kisim liklik. But me like toggle some DSIP, me pla try best lo till him fair right across. The 5 years we will be in office, we would have sent equal amount of DSIP to all districts in our country. I know on policy-based grants, whether it's kina for kina or some policy something, there's sometimes some districts get something else and some districts miss out, even in government side and opposition, based on what you're doing and government medium-term development plan for targets. But DSIP, we try to make it fair right across. Something before this parliament rises, I want to ask all members of parliament to give support to a constitutional amendment at baseline, we must entrench DSIP so that every district is qualified, doesn't matter whether you sit on which side, or every province is qualified at a baseline, doesn't matter which side, simply because our country is so diverse that member of parliament looks after our people in that part of our country. So members of parliament mustn't be subjected to a government policy or treasurer of the day or government of the day. So I beg all members for us to make this change before we rise so that every DDA or every provincial government has at least a minimum allocation so they could plan. In 5 years, this is what at the baseline they must do. So we make this change, we go, but at the same time, the country, the people demands us to report back on the fund being transferred. By now, if this sort of structure was in place, for instance, the Abao district, one member for the last 25 years, Abao district would have been changed. But how comes I went to Abao district last time and I landed a chopper, and a primary school, they asked me for a library and the help. I felt sad that they have to ask me 25 years later. Where road was there, next to a port in Port Moresby, just a point, just a case in point.
We have a point of order, Honourable Member Abao.
I think the Prime Minister is talking about Abao a lot. But one thing he admitted, I must tell the Honourable House. When he drove from Kupiano to Alotau, he texted me and he said, Sepuka, I didn't realize that your Abao electorate is very, very big. I told him, that's why I pushed in cabinet for us to connect Central and Milne Bay. We were together in cabinet that time, we made a decision. No road for 25 years, and thanks to that decision. One day, I must take him, Kupiano to Alotau, in a dinghy, 40 horsepower dinghy, in May when the wind is very, very strong. And see how many times he will vomit. Thank you.
Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, you would know an island called Low Island. I've traveled from Loniu to Low Island on rough sea on a 45 horsepower dinghy, open sea, rough sea. And so I wouldn't mind traveling from Kupiano to Alotau on rough sea. That's my job. I will take it, and I'll travel with you. But I do admit that it's a very big electorate. And it's a pointer to my point earlier. We have a very big electorate, a big country. Challenges are very big. Money has been small. I can't blame him in 2002 to 2007. I can't blame him in 2007 to 2012. We started in 2012 to 17, start to ramp up DSIP. But our challenges were still big in his electorate and combine the country. We start to now ramp up more in 17 to 22, and now even more in 22 to 27. We keep on growing the economy. Doesn't matter which government comes, grow the economy. Don't be shy to give money to the districts, because as Prime Minister, I do not manage every day in Irikoeri or Abao, Lei or Kendra and Gloucester. So to the naysayers out there who feel that members are missing money, no, members are directly in the face of their people. So this government or any government in the future allocate money still to the districts or province, but on the safe side, we are now giving assurance to the taxpayers, our development partners, that BILUM, National Monitoring Authority, the ICAC that this parliament passed on both sides, the ombudsman that we have reformed, is an indication to taxpayers and those who write scholars in Australian National University and the think tanks outside thinking that the leaders are full of corrupt and they're trying to steal the money. They do not understand the challenges this country faces with. Big country, 462,840 square kilometers, islands, atolls, mountains, riverside, valley. The Honourable Member for Abao just confirmed, and I confirm, a big electorate. That doesn't, it's not 10 million every year that will fix that electorate. He possibly needs 50 million every year in 10 years to really get above modernized, totally modernized. But resources are constrained, Mr. Speaker and ladies and gentlemen, members of parliament. So in the constraint of resources, and for us today to get there, possibly 5 years, 10 years, when Papua LNG and others are synchronized and adding more, to get from today to there, whatever little resource come today, we must put to good use. Hitting the bull, hitting the target. And the Bilum work that Minister Sungi, I want to give comment to Minister Sungi. He didn't say he was himself a vice minister. We allocated him a vice ministry portfolio. He didn't waste time. He got to work, and this is now institutionalized in our country's system of governance. And to complement what the member for Miniama and Minister alluded to, it might be paper put into the registry or system. We set up National Monitoring Authority to follow the Kina trail. One Kina comes, or Kina go away, make him walk, or Gaman paper report come. And together you may make him display, Mr. Speaker. This time of Parliament, this government would have given over 7 billion Kina to the 96 districts right across the length and breadth of our country. This government would have given 2 billion Kina to all the 21 provinces, including NCD, and our autonomous Bougainville government. And if we have a reporting platform, we're doing just to future leaders, that people are working, they're reporting, work is happening, so future leaders are now receiving more money to attend to the diversity we call PNG. Again, sorry, member for Aba, but I keep on using my favorite district as an example. The Prime Minister of the day do not fully understand Aba all the time. It is the member for Aba who understands Aba. So the Aba district must be resourced. Likewise, all of us, we are a diverse nation with culture, talk place, spread. And so the resourcing to districts is a right focus. Resourcing to province is the right focus. But the back-end element of reporting must be established. That is why Bilum comes in, National Monitoring and Coordinating Authority comes in, and other work we're doing to make sure Kina is spent well comes in. So I commend this focus. I ask every one of us to give support to this. And let's start reporting, because the more we report, the easier for this government or any government that comes in 27 onwards to keep on supplying resources to the districts, and we lift the standard of our people going forward. Resources are scarce, put limited resource to good use, and hopefully we could catch up to statistics like New Zealand is showing in an economy that is now better and our people living a developed lifestyle. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to commend the work of Minister Lelang as he tries to institutionalize this work. I want to commend those who came before him to put the Bilum system in place now in our public accountability structures. Then Vice Minister and now Minister Sungi take the recommendation from Governor Jufa to heart. And I look forward to all of us putting to good use the resource that is coming to us to lift the standard of living for our people. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for allowing me to speak.
The question is that the question be now put. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the Parliament do now adjourn until tomorrow at 10 o'clock a.m.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Honourable members, I wish to inform the Parliament that the Special Parliamentary Committee on Health Matters and the Papua New Guinea Parliamentary TB Caucus will be hosting a high-level tuberculosis advocacy training for the members of Parliament in the State Function Room today. TB remains a critical health challenge in Papua New Guinea. This training will equip you to advocate effectively for the prevention and treatment, oversee health budgets, and raise life-saving awareness in your electorates. I encourage all members to attend. Thank you. Honourable members, Parliament is now adjourned to 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.